I've talked to a lot of family and friends, members that are Republican, and they're scratching their heads saying, what is going on? I thought this guy in the White House was Republican, but I've told my friends and family, I said, he's not a Republican, he's a corporatist. And these trade deals don't really benefit, they don't benefit the Republican Party, they definitely don't benefit the Democratic Party, they definitely don't benefit the working class people of America. If you were in office, if the DCCC backs you, and it would look like you would have a pretty easy victory if you came so close with little support. What kind of things would you work on in the U.S. House to flip back some of these changes that have occurred in the past 10, 15 years?
Well, first of all, let me say that while I am a Democrat, my values come from having grown up here in the 8th District of North Carolina. So I grew up in a small town. My mom was a school teacher. My dad worked in the post office. So I reflect the community that I grew up in. And that's where my basis of what I would want to do in Washington would be. So rather than looking to try to change things that have happened, how do we take where we are now and do better? In our district, it will mean coordinating all efforts we can at the national, state, and local levels to get good jobs into this district. Because there are jobs coming into North Carolina. They're just not coming into that district. So my focus is entirely on this district and trying to help this district.
But if another trade agreement came up, you'd be against it?
I quickly said, no more free trade deals until the economy in this area starts to get better. Now, if we can do that and improve this district, then fine. Let somebody explain that to me. But until then, no free trade deals would I support, because we've seen nothing but the bad end of it here in this district.
So no one's going to sell you a bridge in Brooklyn?
I don't think so.
That's good.
I don't think so.
Speaking of your race in the midterms this past year in '06, you raised some money, but your opponent had 3 or 4 times as much as you did, and the national DCCC, which works to put Democrats in office, kind of viewed your race as unwinnable or untenable and didn't really get behind you. So what's changed now since that very close loss?
To say that we were unknown would be an unfair use of the word unknown. And when I got into this, I had no idea what would happen, but I got good people behind me, but I felt strongly that if you went out with a message that reflected what the people's concerns of this district were, that they would listen. And we were rewarded by lots of people getting behind us, supporting us. So I never was concerned the DCCC wasn't there, and I was never concerned about the money differential. We knew we would be outspent. We knew we were going against a 4-term incumbent who had a lot of resources, but we also knew that this district would respond and did respond. And unfortunately, the DCCC didn't quite read the tea leaves right there at the very end, or I think we could have gotten that extra boost we would have needed to have won. This time around, they know we are real, and they're supporting us, and we are rated as their #1 targeted race, and my opponent is the most vulnerable incumbent in the nation by polling results and just the general understanding what this district is about.
I can see a lot of good commercials for the next campaign cycle. The one thing I wanted to mention to you, with the trend in 2004 is the South went just about all the way red as far as House and Senate seats. And then in this past midterms, we had some who picked up Heath Shuler, Senate Congress seat, and the western part of the state. You came very close to winning. Some other southern seats went back blue. Is the South rising again and waking up towards what's really happening?
I'm not sure rising again or waking up would be terms at all. I think that we have candidates who are coming from the people, from the grassroots, so to speak, and are reflecting the values of those people. Working class values and other values. I've been a member of my church, my whole life, and a deacon in that church, and that's very much an important part of who I am, but it's not all who I am. But I think we're reflecting the values of the people rather than maybe some self-imposed values from elsewhere. And the people are smart enough to recognize that. And that's one reason maybe the Democratic Party didn't do so well in the South for a few years, that maybe they tried to bring in too many the values maybe from other parts of the country and not recognizing what the values of the South or the values of the 8th District would be. And that's, once again, we're about trying to represent the people of the 8th District and their values. And that's where I grew up, that's who I am. So,
and we've gotten away from actual representation and more towards, well, lobbyist interest or things that don't really appeal to the person on the ground.
The people are very frustrated that Washington can't get the basic things done that affect their everyday lives. And I think they're looking for candidates that are not so much red, blue, Democrat, Republican, liberal, conservative. They're tired of labels. They just want to get the job done. And that's who we are, and that's what we plan on doing when we get to Washington, trying to get the job done to help the people of this district.
Well, Larry, thank you so much for being on the show.
Thank you, sir. I appreciate it.
I wish you the best of luck in the next race.
Okay, thank you so much.
This has been UP News. I'm here with Larry Kissell, who's going to be the future representative of Congressional District 8 in North Carolina. Tune in on ultimatepolitics.net, 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for your next show. Thank you and have a good night. Hey Sam, how you doing?
I'm good. How about yourself?
Not too bad. Is the food pretty good here at the coffee court?
It is awesome.
All right. Well, I'm going to have to get me a sandwich then.
Get you one with sourdough bread.
All right. Hey, we'll see you next time.